Welcome, Future Shapers! You've just tuned in to the nexus of inspiring leaders who share their successes and their failures. Insights that will motivate, educate, and illuminate your path to a very bright future. Welcome to Shaping the Future podcast. Here's your host, Greg Kell.
Hello, this is Greg with Shaping the Future podcast, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to meet William Pote, the president of eTop Technology, a business IT services firm headquartered in Redlands, California. William, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
My name's William, but most people call me BJ. My dad went by Bill, and therefore I'm Bill Jr. About 6 years ago, we decided to start eTop Technology. I was doing a lot of subcontracting work for other companies very similar to mine. And I decided that while that was a really interesting way of generating income, it wasn't a good long-term business, primarily because I didn't own any of the relationships. I only had the relationship with other IT companies, and I didn't have any direct clients. So as a result, 6 years ago, we really changed the entire direction of our company. We are now a managed service provider, or an MSP, here in the Redlands, California area. And as a result, we've grown 50 to 80% year over year. We're a growing IT company.
Excellent. BJ, if I can call you that.
Sure.
I think you're in a really good space. There are so much changes in the world of business IT solutions, and you're right on the cusp. Because of those changes, it sounds like you are operating from a space of experience and also understanding of the value you provide. Tell me, BJ, what are you most passionate about today?
I would say we're the most passionate about bringing the new technology and having it really interact with clients in a way that really helps move their business forward. If you look at technology, people that really value it are really moving down the road very quickly. And several of the conferences I've gone to recently, people are talking a lot about AI and how that's really driving business decisions, and how business intelligence is also helping them drive business decisions. And so as a result, we're really excited about looking at all the different technologies and then working with your business and trying to help it grow using technology. And so while some people would just call their IT guy, we're working on really moving companies forward and taking over all aspects of their technology and helping them really drive their business decisions with technology.
It sounds like you are creating a partnership, a deep relationship that is focused on helping your clients, their business to grow. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And you've been doing this for the last 6 years. So you've seen a lot of change, maybe some ups, maybe some downs, maybe the occasional curveball that got thrown at you. Tell me back something about the worst experience you have had as the owner of eTop Technology.
Not realizing how hard sales was. That was probably one of the worst experiences. And then being brand new in a business and trying to drive a sale forward, and then changing your product offering 5 or 6 times for a client that you never ended up landing. That was probably one of the hardest, most difficult experiences we've gone through. But then as a result, it's really helped us standardize our offerings and bring a lot of value at a great price.
So it sounds to me like the challenges of the sales environment had caused you to make a couple mistakes, moving a little bit off course.
For sure.
But that you have learned to standardize the service offering so that ultimately you provide a consistent value to your clients. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So we've definitely grown a lot in our operational maturity in the last 5 years. And as a result, our offerings have definitely standardized a lot, which really helps our team resolve issues much, much quicker for our clients. And as a result, it brings them great value and a quick resolution, because who wants to be talking to their IT guy?
The person who needs a solution is the one who's going to talk to their IT guy, and they're going to call BJ and his team.
Exactly.
How did this experience of having the sales challenge with a disparate service offering leading to a more standardized offering that produces a consistent value for your clients, how did that experience help you become the success that you are today?
I'd be hard pressed to say that we're a success at this point, but I suppose the fact that we've made it to 5 years is 6 years is a pretty, makes me feel much more comfortable that we're going in the right direction. Honestly, standardizing has helped me realize that we need to do more of it. And it also really helps our clients standardize, because then they can start having consistent processes and procedures that help drive them forward. And as part of our added value, we're helping document those different processes and procedures for them.
Documentation is critical, so you're not being shifting with the winds of change, but you have some specific focus. So speaking of focus, BJ, we believe that discipline and focus enhance productivity. That is one of our core beliefs. How does discipline and focus help to produce success in your life today?
Well, discipline is something that I always struggle with, but focus is something that I don't struggle with now. 6 years ago, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with my life and whether or not staying in technology was one of the things. Well, I gave myself an ultimatum that I will be doing this for the next 5 or 6 years, no matter what. I will not look to the left. I will not look to the right. I will build an IT company that is world class. And as a result, we're actually getting closer and closer to achieving that outcome. And the discipline's been coming along slowly but surely, but the focus, if it doesn't work with our core values, if it doesn't work with our core beliefs, it doesn't work with our core direction of moving our clients forward and really focusing on the managed services offering, we don't do it.
Excellent, BJ. Do me a favor, please. We're going to roll back to 6 years when you first started.
Sure.
Please share with the Future Shapers audience what was holding you back when you bridged the gap from being an employee with someone else to a very courageous entrepreneur who stepped out in faith. Tell me about that moment.
That's a good question. At that point, I was already I wasn't actually an employee. I was just a 1099 contractor. So I was able to leverage the relationships I already had to keep us to keep earning income while we were building this business. So I was actually terrified of staying where I was. Staying where I was not something that I just couldn't stay where I was anymore. I wanted to move forward so bad that I could have built anything to be successful.
So the pain of staying the same was greater than the perceived pain of taking action.
Oh, far worse. Far worse.
Excellent. And BJ, I understand in the business IT services world that you reside in, there's a myriad of businesses that could benefit from your experience and your strength. They have problems eTop technology can help to solve. But it's important to focus in on a specific type of client in order that you can have the best value for. From a big picture perspective, describe that ideal client. What is he or she like?
Our ideal client is based in the Inland Empire, within 30 to 40 miles of our office. They're between 10 users to 100 users on that's an ideal range for us, because people need an IT person at that range and they know it, but they don't usually need to hire a full-time person. So far, we've had a lot of success in the manufacturing, distribution, third-party logistics verticals. We also do a fair amount of work in legal and professional services. So I would say those are our ideal clients. And when I say users, that's not necessarily employees. So a user is somebody who touches a computer on a daily basis. So in a lot of our manufacturing clients, they might have 300 or 400 employees, but only 60 or 80 people actually touching a computer. So that is a real ideal client for us.
Thanks for sharing the attributes of that ideal client.
Absolutely.
We're going to switch bases now. I'm going to ask you to put on your business owner hat.
Business owner hat on.
Exactly. Now, tell me, BJ, over the years, I assume that you have listened to and received advice from maybe mentors or people that you really respect. If you had to bring down just one that you can share with our Future Shapers audience, what is the best advice you've ever received?
Probably never stop reading.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Always be learning and growing. Yeah, I would say never stop reading.
We in the Future Shapers Nation are avid readers.
Excellent.
I know that you're an excellent reader. Please, to benefit the listeners, tell us one book that you recommend to the Future Shapers audience that are listening today.
Absolutely. Probably one of the best books I've read in the last 5 years and has changed the direction of our business the most was one I actually read over the last 6 months. It's called Traction by Gino Wickman. He has 3 or 4 books in that series. I would take a look at Traction, Getting a Grip on Your Business. And then he also has one that's in story format, which I found to be a lot easier to digest. I believe it's Traction, A Business Fable. Fantastic book. Really, being in a story format, it really helped him break down the concepts of what he's talking about without seeming overwhelming.
Excellent. We don't want to be overwhelmed. It's so easy with
Very
all
easy to
of
be
the
overwhelmed.
changes, the pressures that are out in life. They tend to descend on us if we don't have a plan to move through them. Tell me, what are the biggest challenges that you personally or your business are facing now?
Probably the biggest challenge I'm facing is growing as a leader fast enough to stay ahead of my team. That's probably my personal biggest challenge. And as it's my personal biggest challenge, I'd say it's also the business's biggest challenge until we are able to bring in some other levels of leadership. So that way, me growing as a leader is probably our biggest challenge right now.
And what is your plan to overcome that challenge when you look forward?
A lot of it would come back to reading, continued growth in that department, conferences. I spent 4 days in Orlando 2 weeks ago, and I spent 2 days in 2 different sessions that just blew my mind. It helped me see the other side of where I'm at right now, kind of helped pull my head out of the sand, if you will, and got me looking more towards the future. And as a result, it's always hard to change, but it's always the thing that you need to do. So that's what I'm going to be working on the most over the next year.
When you look a year later, what concerns do you have?
Being able to hire technical staff fast enough.
So a strong leadership team and also the technical staff that supports it.
Yes,
So it
absolutely.
really comes down to people, is that correct?
Always.
It's interesting, in an IT services, techie type world, it all comes down to people and relationships.
Well, we're a service-based company. It's 100% based around people and relationships. We're not selling a widget necessarily. We're selling an experience.
BJ, we as the Future Shapers believe that simple actions and habits over time work together to yield an outstanding future. That is our belief system. What are you doing now to shape your business future?
Probably one of the biggest things I've been doing to shape my business future is going to the gym every single morning. I know that might seem really funny as far as an answer goes, but I also recognize that in 20 years, if I'm out of shape and unable to work and focus on taking care of our clients, I won't be in business if I'm not in shape in 20 years.
BJ, simple actions and habits are what creates a success. That habit of going to the gym is exactly what we're talking about. And we're going to do a little test after we're done. We'll do a couple burpees, just see how
Let's
you
do it. Let's
Just
do it.
assessed, okay? We at Shaping the Future, at our worldwide headquarters, believe that our nation is at a tipping point. That we as citizens must shape our nation's future in a positive, loving, and inclusive direction. Tell me, BJ, what is America to you?
America's the place that I've grown up. It's such a land of opportunity. We, I think, take it so very for granted. But then I think as a country, we should do some traveling, go see other countries, see how they operate, and then come back and really realize what an opportunity we have here right in our own backyard. I couldn't imagine not being in this country. I absolutely love it.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. Right now, if you look in the news for and the business news, the tech news, at the very, very top is a proposed change to remove the net neutrality FCC regulations. Do you have any thoughts about that and maybe its potential impact?
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts on that. I'll be real honest, I'm not completely sure how that's going to impact things because it's really changing how the internet works at this point, or has the potential to change how things work at this point. I think the actual changes and the perceived changes are probably a lot different than people think, because I was looking on Reddit last night and they were basically someone was blowing up Reddit with, make sure to vote against for net neutrality. Keep the internet fair use, fair pay. Instead of being pay to play. But we found that whenever the government sticks their fingers into true capitalism, and whenever the government sticks their fingers in, it usually causes issues. At the same time, I'm beginning to think that the internet is something of a utility, and so having some regulation might not be a bad thing. But that's a real sticky, it's a real sticky subject, because I personally really feel the government should stay out of my business as much as possible. But then at the same time, changing the internet as I've known it for the last 20 years to something that's truly 100% pay to play. If you don't pay Charter or Comcast or Spectrum or whoever your internet service provider is, and they slow down everything, that could cause a real issue with people's business as well.
So what I hear you say, you see the gravity of the potential change from a regulatory or a governmental perspective. Mm-hmm. You understand that it's too early to be able to know all of what's involved there. You see the risk and reward. So our message out to our Future Shapers Nation is stay tuned, because this is going to play out over time.
Well, probably my single biggest concern about the reversing of the net neutrality as it sits right now is, look where the money's going. When you have the big, monopolistic cable companies, and that's probably my biggest concern, is that right now there's such a monopoly on internet services in general, that they're really buying the vote to remove net neutrality. And so that's probably my biggest concern with the removal of it. Not necessarily that, again, I don't necessarily want the government in my business or in the business of managing the internet. But at the same time, when you look at where the money's going, that's the next couple of years are going to be really interesting.
Money talks.
Money
and it has a lot of control.
A lot of control.
Tell me, BJ, looking from your perspective as an entrepreneur, as a technologically competent business owner, mm-hmm. What advice can you give to the Future Shapers audience that are listening today?
Something I've come to realize is that we use a lot of software to run our business. And I don't think most companies need nearly as much software to run their business as we probably do. But having a system that you can plug all your processes into, all your numbers into, and that really can run it for you is a big deal. So find a good line of business application, a good CRM, whatever it takes to run your business in a successful manner. Find somebody to really help you implement it well. And then find value the investment that technology brings, because it can really change the direction of your business. And stop looking at technology and if you stopped looking at technology as a pure cost center and started looking at it as an investment, I think technology could really drive your business forward dramatically over the next 5 to 10 years, because we're going into a technology age that if you're not doing this stuff, you will be gone.
Thanks for that advice, BJ.
Sure.
As we move to a close here, tell the Future Shapers audience how they could contact you and what benefit they might receive when they do contact you.
Well, we bring cookies.
Free cookies.
Free cookies, exactly,
Wow.
exactly. Now, in all seriousness, the best way to contact us is take a look at our website. It's etoptechnology.com. Give us a call at our main number. It's 951-398-0021. I'm more than happy to just talk. Even if you never actually use us, I'm always happy to talk for half an hour, and find out a little bit more about what your business is doing. I love learning about the business side of everything technical, because it's really about those business decisions and very little about the actual technology that drives them. So that'd be a great way to get in touch with us.
Thank you, BJ. And Future Shapers audience, I encourage you to reach out at etoptechnology.com and see how their strengths and experience can help your business to thrive and prosper in this unknown age that we are heading into. But I want to thank all the Future Shapers audience listeners that are here. Encourage you to come back for our next episode in a couple days. So this is Greg and BJ signing off. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you for joining this episode of Shaping the Future podcast. We leave you, Future Shapers, with this challenge. act boldly today to shape your future, because if you don't, it will absolutely be shaped for you.